It's a situation, it's sort of like driving in the fog. If you're driving in the fog, everybody slows down, but you can't stop. And you'd love to be able to see 50 feet ahead, but you can't see. So you see maybe 20 feet ahead. And that's kind of dangerous to drive when you can only see the next 20 feet. But if you don't drive a little bit, you will never see the next 20 feet.
Some of it is the emotional fear, the silent barriers. Some of it is, I can't pay my rent next month if I leave my job. So I can't leave my job. I will stay in my job.
It was truly a leap of faith for me to make this decision and start this company because there was so much on the line. Like, there were so many things that could have gone wrong. It started off really tough. In tech, it's very white male dominated. There's been harassment and different things that have happened over time. But I cannot let that stop me. I can't let that ruin things because so many people are depending on me.
There were nights I went to sleep so afraid of not even knowing what the next step should be. There were mornings I would walk past my computer completely paralyzed by fear because I had no idea where to go next.
Entrepreneurs die deaths of a million cuts. They don't die from one blow of a hammer. All those little things they deal with day to day that get in the way of making a great business. And oftentimes they're psychological barriers, they're cultural barriers, or they're regulatory barriers.
Entrepreneurs bring their entire selves to every single thing they do on a daily basis. Sometimes it's like being in a maze. They're trying to find an answer, trying to find a solution. Everyone's told them they've got a great idea. At some point, they either run out of energy and give up, or they get lucky and succeed.
I got rejected repeatedly for a year and a half. And at that point, I'm really wondering if I am crazy. Like, I feel like I'm crazy. People think that just because you come up with a really great idea, that you can get it started, and not only get it started, but get it to keep growing and running how it's supposed to run.
We'd made some major missteps. Distribution deals evaporated overnight. So we were suddenly in this situation where we had an extreme capital outlay, had a lot of overhead, and lost half our revenue.
It's a different kind of stress, I guess, too, because when you have a startup and you're growing a business, I mean, you know, everything you have is on the line.
Every banker we had, every accountant we had, every lawyer we had advised our family, shut it down. It's not gonna work. And we just didn't take no for an answer. This is a family institution, and it will go on.
Real entrepreneurship, the vast majority of businesses are just people doing day-to-day stuff, putting one foot in front of the other, just trying to make things work. There are people doing amazing things in their communities. Part of the role of people that support entrepreneurs is to recognize that heroism.
Have you had situations where you've really struggled to understand, do I push through this wall that is holding me back?
When I first started, I really didn't want to start. So I kept asking people, like waiting for them to say like, no, don't do that, that's a terrible idea. And it's like, okay, great. But then I would go back to it and say, I know that this can work.
In a great ecosystem, people help each other and they say, you know what, I know someone that can help you open that door. That ability to get information fast and support one another through that mutual network is really what allows people to overcome barriers.
We see too much disconnection, we see too many blind spots, we see too much segregation, frankly, and just not enough effectiveness in the ecosystems.
In our ecosystem, what specifically was missing was that opportunity for inclusivity and idea and industry agnostic approaches to supporting people who want to launch and grow something, who want to take an idea and manifest that idea. In our ecosystem, there are lots of silos.
Part of why it hasn't happened is because the parties haven't found each other. We're looking at ways to do that and remove the systemic barriers that could be in place that stand in the way of those people starting the businesses and finding the resources that they need. So we need to create better pathways to succeed.
Everyone plays a role in the success of an entrepreneur. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, I think that you understand the richness and the value of entrepreneurship in your community and what that means for you and for the rest of the city.
We're all in the same boat. Whether you're just graduating college or somebody who's 65 years old who just got out of industry. As an entrepreneur, you're all facing similar challenges.
If innovation and entrepreneurship thrive from ways of thinking and ways of being, then there's really no inherent reason why you can't replicate that everywhere. It really starts to change the game when you think of it less as a method attached to one particular type of place to a method that any individual can act upon. That actually starts to change the way that individuals relate to their communities and also changes communities so people feel empowered.
We have to continue to listen, and the way we listen is through convening and reconvening to learn what's changing in the hero's journey. What's the new barrier in the way?
Welcome, Victor Wong.
I sincerely believe that the people here in this room today have the ability to change the trajectory of human history.
Nelson Mandela said something I'll never forget, which is, it always seems impossible until it happens.
ESHIP Summit was really built around the idea of, could we find people from across the country, of different backgrounds and industries and races and genders and communities, and bring them together to talk about what they're doing. And what I think was achieved at the ESHIP Summit was the affirmation that happened amongst those people, that the work that they're doing isn't some one-off thing, and that it is actually a changing economy in the US that's emerging a new role, a new position, this new idea of a person whose entire job is to focus on the system.
Ideally, in 2025, you would be able to get a degree in becoming an ecosystem facilitator. It would become a profession, and they would be embedded into every business, much like a lawyer or an accountant.
It's about empowering the community to sustain something that's good for them. To keep it dynamic and moving, we've got to empower the community we're serving to take ownership, to lead when applicable, and to keep evolving.
The best way to empower the makers, doers, and the dreamers is by giving them the environments in which to thrive, which depend entirely on the people that surround them. This is a chance for us to come together and to find that lost tribe.
That very important part of creating community is when we take down those barriers, those 0 barriers to becoming an entrepreneur. There are entrepreneurs of all shapes and sizes. If you surround yourself by people that look and sound just like you, then you've created an echo chamber. So that's no good either.
We wanted to legitimize the profession of ecosystem building and co-create tools that you can start enacting in your communities right away. It's also about equality. It's about having an equal seat at the front table to make decisions about your business and about your efforts.
We oftentimes fail to realize that everyone has the opportunity to contribute, provided they've actually been given the chance to participate.
Diversity is inviting everyone to the party. Inclusion is inviting everyone to dance.
It represents all of you, regardless of demographic, regardless of geography. It's all of us.
Ecosystem provides and nurtures that culture environment, realizing our job is to make sure those relationships exist. They're hard relationships because you're talking about...
Everybody in this room are folks that are kind of carving that new path, right? All of those resources and other folks that are kind of putting time, effort, and energy into helping us along as ecosystem builders is huge. And I think that over time we're going to see the results of that.
There's a lot of little epiphany moments, right? I've never thought about that. Wow, that's a really great idea. And so you become one of those people in the audience that says, that's a great idea, or let me connect you with. That's where that serendipity happens, those collisions happen.
And if you want to run fast, run alone. If you want to run far, run together.
The people here in this room are the ones who are going to take this work forward. We need stories, we need case studies, we need examples, we need lessons and insights and models. And what we're going to do is to start to build that field of practice. We're going to start to codify this work. So we're going to start to build this community, we're going to start to collect the stories and the case studies and the insights, and we're going to create ways for you to share them better and better. We need this to be a community effort. We have to build this together.
I think one of the great aspects of America is this deep resilience and the sense that, well, we can work it out. We can work with our friends, our colleagues, and our community members to find solutions to problems. These types of shared stories, peer learning experiences, groups and communities where people can feel bonded to each other to get through those hard times, that's so important to the entrepreneurial spirit.